Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Your City, Your County. This is being recorded on February 12th of 2020, and we are very proud. I'm Bob Gray, by the way. We are very proud to have two guests with us today. First is Katie Servi, who is the Algoma Elementary School principal. And Katie,
Hi.
Very nice to have you with us
Thank you.
today.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. And also with us today is Jaime Robinson. Jaime is the Golden Apple Award recipient, and it's very nice to have you with us.
Thank you. Nice to meet
today
you.
too. I have to relate one thing, Jaime, that people in the community, I know Jim Robis and Jeff Robis, and you're Jim's daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Right. And you'll probably remember Jim as having the Big Jim, the tractor, and I understand that your dog was part of that, the Dalmatian?
Yes, Puchka the Dalmatian.
Okay.
Always rode on the steam engine along with us children.
That's great. I remember you guys from a long time ago. I think I'm showing my age here. I
Same
don't
here.
know, but yeah. But so anyway, that kind of relates people to the local scene. And Katie, are you from Algoma, or where do you originate from?
I am from Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my 6th year as principal at the elementary school. I taught
Okay.
many years before that, but I do have some relatives in the area, so I do have some ties, and it's been nice to kind of come back.
Well, neither one of you look like you're old enough to to have been here too many years, so that's a good thing. Now, as we said in the promotion for this, and as I mentioned in the very first part, that Jaime is the Golden Apple Award recipient, and rather than to put her on the spot, I'm going to put you on the spot as the principal. How did she get this job?
Yeah, it's a very involved process, and she right now is. She's kind of made it to the final round as the teacher of distinction. So we don't know yet whether or not she's the recipient of the Golden Apple Award.
Okay.
But I'll kind of run you through the process a little bit. So in the
Sure.
fall, the application period was open to parents, students, coworkers. They really could nominate any educator in any of the schools in the district. There were about, I want to say they said over 2,300 teachers, so throughout the whole greater Green Bay area chamber, all of the schools that participate, there were over 2,300 nominations total.
That's a lot of nominations.
Yes. So
Wow.
then from that, they narrow it down to the 42, just over 42 teachers of distinction. And then they determine which finalists they would like to call in, and they want to say there were 12 finalists. And Jaime was one of the finalists that was called in for an interview, in-person interview. And we should find out if she is one of the 8 that are chosen for the actual Golden Apple Award. So
Okay, so it's getting down there. We're getting
Yeah.
close.
So,
Yeah.
patiently waiting.
Okay. That's,
we should know soon.
Oh, gosh.
End of February, I think, is what they had said.
Okay.
So,
Is it okay?
yeah.
Will you know before you go before this group, or?
I have no idea. I
I don't know that we know.
Either way, it's a great honor, so
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Well, that is terrific. Who sponsors this whole Golden Apple program?
The program is sponsored through the Greater Green Bay Chamber.
Okay, and so Algoma must be part of
Yes.
that organization in some way.
Yes, there's a lot of different opportunities that comes with that partnership, and this is definitely one of those positive ones that has a positive impact on our staff.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Yeah, just to know that you're part of this great group
Yeah.
that does all of this, and we congratulate you on that. When is the actual event going to be taking place?
April 15th. So,
Okay.
a couple months away.
Oh, tax day.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's
Sweet.
good.
That's what
Now
I'll
no one
do.
will forget.
Yeah. So that gives us at least one good reason to celebrate tax day.
I'll always remember it, yes.
Okay. And I understand it's going to be broadcast. I think
Yes.
Channel 11 usually does that.
Yes.
WLUK. We'll give them a little shout out here. And that will be on Fox 11. And that's from what time? You know?
5:30 to 9.
5:30 to 9.
Yep,
Well, that's
yep.
quite a production then.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Well, that's great. I'm going to ask you also, Jamie, what grade do you teach at Algoma Elementary?
I teach second grade.
Okay. And how many students do you have?
Yeah, I'm lucky to have 15 students only.
Wow.
Any teacher would tell you that that is the best thing they could wish for. We have small class sizes up through third grade. Then they get a little bit larger, but it's really fantastic to work with a smaller class size.
Mm-hmm. Right. I think as I recall when I was in grade school, which has been a few years,
Yeah.
you know, I think we were 25 or 30, something like that.
Yeah, my parents tell me stories of 30
Mm-hmm.
more than that in a
Yeah.
classroom, so.
Yeah, and my wife has told me stories of a lot more than
Oh,
that, you know,
gosh.
in her school too, so.
It's a great advantage. We can actually spend time with students one-on-one or in
Mhm.
small groups
Mhm.
and meet them where they're at.
Do you have a student aide or an aide that helps some of the students too?
Yes, we have aides that come in and out of the classroom and support, then go to support another classroom. So yeah, students who need the help definitely get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's terrific. And how long have you been teaching in the system?
27 years.
Oh my goodness, that's a long time.
It is a long time. It's gone fast though. I can't believe it.
I
when
bet
think about
I bet it has,
Mhm.
and I'm sure that you probably see some of those students coming back and saying hello. How
Yeah.
are you? How's everything going?
I see students that I taught get married and have babies. That's a hard one to swallow. But every day I have kids come in and give me a hug, come visit during the day, tell me how their day is going.
Hmm.
That's one of the best parts.
Have you had any parents and then their children come
Yes,
through yet?
yes,
Oh,
I have.
wow.
Just a few. I know. It's a harsh reality, but
Oh yes, I find the older that I get, the more the intergenerational thing kind of kicks in, and you go, I wonder if
it's a-
that's their grandchildren or
Yeah.
their children or who is that?
but it's a
there?
special connection to have, so I'll take it.
Okay, that's a good thing. It's very rewarding then. Okay. Let me turn to you for a minute, Katie.
Yeah.
And how many kids do you have in the school here, the elementary school?
So we have students as young as 3, and then we have grades all the way up to 6th grade. We're at about 385 right now.
Okay.
So, and that kind of ebbs and flows throughout the year depending on new students that come in or other students that leave throughout the year, but we're usually between 380 and 390.
Mm-hmm, okay. And I understand it's K, meaning like kindergarten.
We do have 4K, so we do have
Okay,
a full day
4K.
4K program. Yep, and then we also do have 3-year-olds as well.
Okay,
So.
okay. Do they learn quite a bit too? Are they?
Absolutely,
okay.
absolutely. We do a lot. There's a lot of emphasis, especially with our 3 and 4-year-olds, on play, socialization, learning. Just how to communicate, problem solve, all of those things. So it definitely looks different as you, visit each grade level, but it all builds upon
Yeah,
each
I'm
other.
sure that social interaction is
Absolutely.
important. I remember being in kindergarten and working with saws and hammers and nails, and I can't believe that they'd let me do that, But
Makes me a little nervous
it
myself.
does, yeah, especially the saw part, but at least they weren't electric saws. So
that is true.
That was good. Now, after somebody leaves 6th grade, where do they go then?
Then they go to the middle school, high school.
Okay.
So the other building in the district services students 7th grade through 12th grade.
Okay, and yours is the one that's next to City Hall,
Yes.
your
Yep,
school.
yep.
And then the middle school, high school combination is up on
Yes.
the hill.
Yes.
And they're the newer facility.
Yep.
You guys also have a really nice auditorium there
Yes,
too,
it
don't
is
you?
beautiful.
Yeah.
Very, very beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're very glad to have that. It's a good thing to have. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your responsibilities, what you do as the principal?
Sure. Well, I feel like every day is a little bit different. A lot of interaction with students. I love to work with the teachers, build connections with the parents. So it could be anything from working right in the classroom with 4K students to, having parent meetings after school and kind of everything in between. Nothing is really off limits. It's kind of an all hands on deck kind of environment.
Do you find that you have to enforce the rules occasionally? I'm trying to put it as nicely as I can.
Honestly, we have a really great staff, and we have really great students. So anything that does pop up, we're able to kind of work together and communicate with each other and problem solve around. There really isn't too much that, stands out to me as a time where it's been more of that, approach.
So
we're very lucky.
There may not be a lot of concern that it's time to go see Mrs. Servi.
Hopefully not. I don't know.
Okay. Let me ask you pretty much the same thing. What are your responsibilities, Jamie, as far as what you have to do in the classroom?
Well, in the classroom, I get to teach all the subjects to my second graders. They're either 7 or 8 years old. We do reading, we do writing, we do math, and then we do everything else on top of that. And I like to teach in small groups. So even though I just have 15 kids in my classroom, we still do a lot of grouping, and I might be working with one group on reading a book. Other groups might be working on a Chromebook, on some type of a reading program. Other groups might be finishing up a project they're working on for reading. So, for example, when we're reading, we're all doing different things. Same type of thing for math. I get to work with a small group on whatever their strategies are for, say, adding. Another group might be working in their workbook, and another group might be working on the computers. And we just keep rotating around like that. Everybody gets what they need, and it makes it a great way to meet all of their needs and their abilities.
Do you find it's hard where you have 15 kids and maybe you're working with 3 or 4 of them over here? Do you ever kind of wonder what's going on with the other group?
Once in a while, I might shout across the room, "Hey, please do that."
Yeah.
But we do spend a lot of time in the beginning of the year setting up routines and expectations. So they get pretty good at knowing what they're supposed to do. And it's incredible how second graders can take ownership of their learning and be responsible and be independent. That's probably one of the greatest skills that they learn throughout the year. In the beginning of the year, it doesn't look quite as independent. But right now, we're starting to turn that corner. They know what they need to do, and they want to learn. And they want to get better at everything that they're doing. So they take on those challenges, and they are pretty self-motivated and independent learners right now.
That's good. The thing I always remember was the teacher would go down the hall and come back, 5 minutes later. "I can hear you all the way down the hallway."
Well, yes, we had a few of those instances in the beginning of the year because I do help out at other places, and all of a sudden someone might come and need my help. So we had a really good discussion just a few months ago about what they needed to be doing if I needed to leave the room for a few minutes. And I had that same thought as I was talking to somebody down the hall. And I was wondering what I was going to come back to in my classroom. And lo and behold, they were either reading or cleaning up the room.
Oh my goodness.
That was an amazing day. And they heard great things from me that day because
kids have changed. They're just not like that.
They know what they need to do, and they will do it. It's not like that every day, but
that's quite amazing. That really is. I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah, I was too.
I remember we used to melt crayons on the radiators.
Oh, geez.
That was something else.
That would be fun.
It was lovely. It really the teachers didn't appreciate it. But the radiators looked so pretty after, with red and green crayon melted on them. Well, I'm sure that you've both been educated quite well. Tell me a little bit about your training and where you went to school, and just give me a good rundown.
Sure. I went to college, did my undergrad at University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. From there, I started teaching right away, and then while I was teaching, went back to school, got my master's from Marian University in leadership, and then I am here today.
Well, that's great. Very good. And where are you from originally?
Green Bay.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Well, that's
yep.
not too far away.
It's not.
Lucky to get a job in this vicinity then.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
great. A lot of
Absolutely.
people have to go a long way, so
Mm-hmm,
that's terrific. And for you, Jamie, I know you have told us that you are from Algoma. Where did you go to school?
Yeah, so I went to school here in Algoma, and then I went to UWGB for all of my teaching instruction.
Okay, we're very, very lucky to have UWGB
Yeah.
in this area, and lucky to have you
Yeah.
here in teaching. And did you major pretty much in elementary education?
Yes, I wasn't sure what I wanted to go for, and luckily a guidance counselor sat me down and asked me what I like to do in the summer. And I worked at the local park program here. He said, well, you should be a teacher. And I said, sure, let's do that. And it turned out really good for me.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
It was a good decision.
I'm glad, and as long as you enjoy it, that's a good thing. What kind of impact do you think that you're having on kids in the community as they grow up? What kind of impact do you see with not only kids but maybe their parents and relatives and friends and that sort of thing?
Well, living in the community has been a great help for that because I see the kids at the store, I see their parents at the store, I see them out and about on the streets going for a walk, and building a connection that way and seeing them on a day-to-day basis just kind of opens the door for discussions and letting them know that I'm a person, they're a person, and I think building that connection is huge because then in the classroom they see me more as a person that they can talk to and relate to. They might ask me questions about what their child might be needing in school, and I think we can talk back and forth with just common appreciation for each other. So it really is nice living in the community where I teach and building upon that. I know most of the people who are in our school, so they know that they can come and talk to me if they need to. They ask questions about what their kids could be or should be learning, and we have a really great back and forth that way.
That's great. I think that's a wonderful thing about a community of the rural sizes of
Yeah.
what we have in, of course, Kewaunee County, Door County, and this general area. I think that's a real plus.
It is a huge plus,
Yeah.
yes.
And let me ask you pretty much the same question, if I may, Katie. What do you see your impact in the community, being the principal at the elementary school?
I think that we have a wonderful community, and everything feels so much like a family.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really appreciate being able to work collaboratively together, whether that be parents, whether it be teachers, whether it be other stakeholders, other family members who are involved in a student's life. It's never really a question of, can we help or can we accomplish this? It's always how can we help and how can we accomplish this? And it's, as far as the impact on the greater community, I just think it's tying resources together, collaborating together. We all kind of belong to each other, and, nothing is off limits, nothing is too large to accomplish. It's just definitely a lot of teamwork and positive approach.
Okay. We do have in this area school choice. Do you find that there are a number of students that come here from other communities, other areas to Algoma?
Yeah, definitely. Why wouldn't they?
I can see what you mean.
Yeah, we do. And I think it's great. We really focus on, what we can do for our students. Doesn't matter if they're students not living in the community or living in the community, they're all our students. And that's just kind of that's kind of our mindset about it. So.
One of the things that I noted, having been involved kind of with the Sturgeon Bay School District, that people would say, well, where's a good school to go? And I'd say anywhere in Door or Kewaunee County. I don't think there are any bad schools in the community, and I think that they work together well. Do you find that you have meetings with other people either in Kewaunee County or in other districts
Absolutely.
as well?
Absolutely. There's many, many times throughout the school year where we have collaborative meetings involving other school districts, other counties, stakeholders from any of those organizations and groupings, many, many times. So it is a very common, normal thing for us.
Okay, very good. Now, at one time, we would have seen probably most of the children in the school coming from one particular part of society, I guess. Has that changed? And I'll ask you first, Jamie. Has that changed with different nationalities, different peoples with different needs, different skill levels, and so on? Is that different, do you think, than it was at one time?
Yeah, we are lucky to have many more Hispanic children in our classrooms. And that brings on the need to help meet them where they're at. Right now we have a few children that don't speak much English. So we have begun a program where we've connected with our high school students who are in Spanish 3 and 4. They are pretty fluent at speaking Spanish. They are coming down graciously every day to come and spend some time with these students that need a little bit of help with things like learning vocabulary words in English, talking to them about classroom expectations, hall expectations in Spanish so that they can fully understand what they need to be doing. And of course the goal is to gradually change them from to add to their ability to speak English. Maybe right now they're speaking about 1% English, and as we go through the year, we're hoping that we can increase that maybe to 10% English by the end of the year, maybe even 20. But I'm working with some high schoolers and some first and second graders now. The first and second graders are learning English, and they are so excited and so motivated. They are ready to go and really excited to be making a connection with others in the community, the high school tutors that are coming down. We also have them working in some small groups to learn a little bit more English and be able to use it freely. I think sometimes they're not so sure about using it, even if they think they know the language, they are shying away from using it. So we're really encouraging them through playing games to get them to speak. But we also want to honor their culture. So we're hoping to also teach in the classrooms, teach about Mexico, teach about that language so that everybody has a common respect for everybody else.
Well, I think an incredible thing when you think about it truly is, well, I took French, and I couldn't tell you
Same
much
here.
French.
Yep, I know.
J'entre dans la salle de classe. But anyway, I did take French, but I think the marvelous thing about this is, you look at some of these Hispanic kids or kids with different nationalities, they're speaking 2 languages.
Yes, it's
and
amazing.
they're very good at both of them, and what a wonderful time to start learning a second language, which in this case is English as a second language. I would think that would be a marvelous growth for their opportunity too.
Yes, they get to go up into the Spanish class. We've just started having them go up there and help teach the Spanish to our English-speaking children, because we want them to be proud of their language. It's amazing that they know 2 languages and are going to be using it. So we want to learn from them. We want them to learn from us, and it's just a win-win for both sides.
That's great. Do you and let me turn to you now on this one, Katie. Do you find that this is a continuing program that goes all the way through the 6th grade, working with these kids and sharing their culture, and also still encouraging them to learn good English too for them?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to add that Jamie has been the driving force behind all of that. So she forgot to mention that part about it.
Well, she is. I can tell she's very thankful.
But yeah, she definitely has been leading the charge with that, recognizing, this unique need, urgent need. And again, it's all about the students. So, that's one of Jamie's strengths, is that when she sees something that needs to be done or changed or altered, there's nothing stopping her. She just dives right in and connects the resources, collaborates with others, and the next thing you know, we have all of these Spanish students coming down from the high school
Yeah.
to help our students who are non-English speakers at this point. So
Okay.
it's been wonderful.
Do you have other nationalities as well that are represented?
We
or
do.
is
We
it,
have all different nationalities for sure. Yeah.
Well, good, good. I remember, Jamie, that when I was in Vietnam, I was an English language instructor, taught it as a second language, and we'd say such things because I didn't know Vietnamese, but we'd say, "This is a pen," and then we'd point to them and we'd say, they were supposed to say, "This is a pen." Do you do some of that?
That is the exact same thing that we're doing. We're working on social vocabulary, things that they need right now in school. And then we're teaching them a sentence frame to go with it so that right now it's I see a, and then they're learning the vocabulary that they can plug in at the end. We play games, we hide little cards around the room with those items on, and the kids get to go find them, and then they need to tell us what it is in English, or we draw it, or we build it with Play-Doh. So we're really building a lot of the vocabulary learning around play so that they're interested in having a great time and motivated. But it's exactly the same thing with first and second and fifth graders.
It's got to be fun.
Yes.
It really does. And I think that's one of the wonderful things about the elementary school is kids are still really excited and they want to learn.
That is my favorite thing. If the number one thing for my hope for my kids in my classroom is that they're motivated and excited to learn. And every year it seems to happen, mainly because they're given a choice. I often give them a choice of what they want to learn about, and we might have each child learning about something different, but they're using the skills that I'm teaching and they're learning about what they want to learn about, and it's super motivating. And I love seeing their eyes light up every year and having them tell me everything that they've learned about a subject.
It's got to be really exciting,
Yeah.
and you're helping to form those kids
Yep.
in the way they're learning.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, very good. Do you get many parents that come into the classroom and want to see what's going on?
Yep, I have helpers that volunteer all the time, and it might be some just want to help do things with papers, some want to help work with kids. I have a helper that has come in, oh man, I would say for maybe the last 5 or 6 years, and she comes in twice a week, and we really work well together. She knows exactly how to help get the most out of these kids. I give her an idea to run with, and she works with groups. She gets to work with all the kids, and they just benefit from that very small group and hearing from somebody else. It's not just me that knows how to teach them. Anybody can. So they get
I
to
wouldn't
hear
say
from her.
anybody
Well,
can.
This helper's doing
That's
great.
why you got the Golden Apple nomination recipient award.
Well, her name is Sue Hartke. She comes in and she
Okay.
helps every 2 days a week, and she does a great job.
That's wonderful. It's so nice to have that. Katie, do you find that parents are interested all the way through 6th grade as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the need changes, and what a classroom teacher might need help with, or the way in which a classroom teacher asks for volunteers. But we have never really had a shortage of extra hands when it
That's
comes to help
great.
from the parents or the community. Sometimes
I
it's
always
community members.
remember. I keep going back to. You can see where I'm entrenched in grade school, but you'd look in the back of the room and you say, "Whose mother is that?" But it sounds like things have changed considerably, which is a good thing, and it sounds like you're doing a lot of good things. Also, I understand that you're in charge of the Gifted and Talented program. Not only do you teach English as a second language, but what's the Gifted and Talented? And that goes all the way through high school, right?
Yes, well, it looks a little bit different at each grade level. Right now, we have a few kids who they might be really, really well read, like they can read at a couple levels above where they should be. For example, we have a little kindergartner right now, 4K student, who can read like a 3rd grader.
Wow.
So for those types of students, we just kind of move them around to a grade level that might be a little more appropriate for their abilities. He's working in a 1st grade group. with another kindergartner. So we like to mix up grades a little. Just because you're in 4K doesn't mean that you can't be working with a first grader. So we make some small pods of groups that can work across grade levels at a level that's perfect for them. As you move along, so we have a student right now that is working in a math group at a grade above, so he'll just keep on progressing that way. We've had some students leave high school with 2 years worth of college credits already.
Wow.
So if they have the ability and they have the want to accelerate, we have built-in measures to let them do whatever they need to do. But yeah, if you can leave high school with 2 years worth of college under your belt,
credit. Yeah, my goodness.
that's a great savings. So
Yeah, it certainly is. And it sounds, in many ways, what you're saying, kind of like the old one-room classroom, one room for everybody, in some ways, and the good parts about that.
yeah,
The school
it's just
system.
about meeting their needs and letting everybody grow at their own pace.
Okay. I think we've covered the waterfront. And it has been a real pleasure seeing both of you here. First, we want to thank you, Jamie, for your fine work, and I'm sure that there's a good reason, as we found out today, why you are a recipient of the Golden Apple Award.
Thank you.
And we congratulate you on that.
Thanks so
Thank you,
much.
and good luck on
Thank
that.
you.
And also Katie, who is the Algoma Elementary School principal. We thank you
Yeah.
once again for being with us. It's
Thank
been a
you.
real
And stay
pleasure.
tuned till the end of February
Yeah.
when we find out.
Yeah, and
for sure.
remember that's Wednesday, April 15 on Fox 11 from 5:30 to 9, and we hope to see you there.
Thank you.
Walking off with your golden
Oh
apple.
boy. Thank you.
You bet. That's going to do it for our show for today, folks. We thank you so much for being with us. That's going to do it for your city, your county. I'm Bob Gray, and we hope to see you back here once again. Have a good day, everybody. So long.